to the interpretation of subject to the jurisdiction thereof in the birthright citizenship case. But yesterday, he went through a history of the Federal Reserve Bank that I think is questionable. I mean, he says that the Fed is consistent with the principles that underpin the first and second banks of the United States. But, the first and second banks of the U.S. were seen as powerful, centralized banks. Jefferson criticized them. Andrew Jackson criticized them as been favored by wealthy elites, and they threatened states' rights, and they concentrated financial power. And then when Congress created the Federal Reserve, they sold it as not one central bank, but as a system. So they created 12 Federal Reserve banks. And at any rate, all this seems to have been lost on Roberts in the history. And so I wonder how much people are going to look at Roberts and say, he's not a great historian. He is doing a lot of work to try to hold the court together or preserve the court's image or pander to the left or whatever you want to say. But is he actually ruling in a way that's faithful to the text of the Constitution?
That's really what it comes down to, how they interpret the Constitution. And it does seem like John Roberts has been a little fluid on his version of the interpretation of the Constitution. We also, I guess, this week can say RIP to Election Day, according to Samuel Alito, with that mail-in ballot decision, Christina. We're stuck with these election periods.
Yeah, this, I think, was probably the worst ruling of the week, if I can rank them. Judicial Watch actually was a party. We were representing the Libertarian Party in Watson. And while it's not a complete loss, because they do kind of pitch it over to Congress and say, well, Congress could do something about it. We all know Congress doesn't do anything about it. We can't even get them to pass the Save America Act for voter ID. The fact, that we actually want Election Day to mean Election Day, and we don't want one party to be able to determine the outcome of the election and then preclude any more votes and go find the votes that they want in order to change the outcome of the election. I mean, very basic, simple security measures like that. We now have to rely on a Republican Congress that has proven that it's not going to do anything and is going to do everything it can to oppose this. It's kind of demoralizing, I'm not going to lie, that we have a government that we elected, that we put into power, and now they're saying we're not going to allow you to have secure elections, to remove us if you don't like the job that we're doing. So I thought it was a disappointing ruling.
You can kind of see the states continue to drift in different directions, too, based on these Supreme Court decisions this week. Election integrity, transgender issues, just to name a few. We do have the soundbite here. Here is Justice Alito talking about the end of Election Day.
We have lots of phrases that involve two words, the second of which is day. Labor Day, Memorial Day, George Washington's birthday, Independence Day, birthday, and Election Day. And they're all particular days. So if we start with that, if I have nothing more to look at than the phrase Election Day, I think this is the day in which everything is going to take place, or almost everything. And then we have 3 points in time, 1844, 1872, 1914. And we can ask, what would people have thought on those days is meant by this phrase, Election Day? Which of those should we choose? Which of those dates should we choose?
It's just wild, Alan. Argentina, Colombia, Italy, countries can have, pendulum swinging elections that nobody questions, and the results come back in one day. Despite all the technology we have now, it seems like this ruling takes us back.
Well, what I hope this ruling does is mobilize Congress, because we need to pass the SAVE Act. And the House Rules Committee has merged the Save America Act with the National Defense Authorization Act. Hopefully that will work, because the American people overwhelmingly support this. We need to protect election integrity. We need to make sure only U.S. citizens are able to register and vote in federal elections. We need to require proof of citizenship. It's amazing that the United States of America is so lax on its election laws compared to other countries.
Yeah, you got this 80% of the population that wants voter ID. It is a drum that Republicans have to keep banging. A lot of Democrats like this. Maybe more state legislatures will do it on the state level, too. We'll see. But our thanks to Alan and Christina for joining us today. Two great legal minds. We appreciate your insights.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk more about